If I were to ask you, how would you eat an elephant? Now, I'm not for a minute suggesting that you do, but you kind of get the metaphor. Because you'd probably say one bite at a time. Big goals are exactly the same, whether it's a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, whether it's your vision, strategy, a project, or even a life goal. You're probably going to need to chunk them down and bite off one piece at a time. Chunking is perfect for any large, complex, or multi-part goal, where the sum of its parts actually will make up the success of the project. Well, in this video, we're going to look at a technique called umbrellas. An umbrella goal, well, it's one of many chunking techniques, like tree diagrams, mind mapping, Gantt charts. But for us, the umbrella is a great visual tool. It's great for breaking things down that are just too big to focus on their own. Imagine that your goal was to build your dream home. Start by drawing an overarch and write your aspiration over the top. Next, you want to break this goal down into chunks. But you may find there are different ways that you could do this. For example, for a dream home, you could create chunks around the project steps, such as budget, location, design, build, finish, decoration even. Or you could choose to organize by the space, the living space, the kitchen space, the sleeping space, the bathrooms, even the garden. In reality, it doesn't matter how you break your bigger goal down. Find a way that works for you. Does it make sense? Worth pointing out, though, at this stage that the umbrella is an iterative process. You will often find yourself drawing and redrawing it until you become comfortable with it. And that's okay. We always recommend using a large sheet of paper, a pencil, and most importantly, an eraser. Okay, back to the examples. So you have all your chunks and it's time to test it. Ask yourself, or if you're working as part of a team, ask the others, if we work through all of these chunks, will we achieve our overarching goal or project? So in the dream house example, would a living space, kitchen, bedrooms, bathrooms, and a garden create that dream home for you? The answer is yes. Great, you're good to go. You can move on to the next level. However, if the answer is no, we'd encourage you to ask yourself, what else do you need to build into your umbrella? What else do you need to work on? What other chunks might there be? For example, you might want to add an office or a garage or something else. Add these new chunks into your diagram, and this is where your eraser will come in handy. Once you have all the chunks you need, take each chunk in turn. Are they now manageable, or do they need to be broken down further? So in our example of the dream home, you might want to break down kitchen, and that might be into plumbing or storage, appliances. And of course, there are going to be more, but you get the idea. Once you get to this level, you can add a list of different tasks that will complete this particular area. And it's at this point that you'll start to use the SMART goal defining technique. It's a great discipline to define what needs to happen and by when. Unless you're collaborating online using software like Miro, we strongly recommend that you do your work on paper first. Or you could use post-it notes that are easy to move around. And then when you're happy, you can then transfer it to something like Word or PowerPoint or something similar. When you need to drill down further into each chunk, it might be easier to create a new umbrella on a separate page, just for that particular chunk. It'll make it far more manageable. Often, the umbrella can become really busy with lots of content, so you may want to grab your eraser or even redraw it to combine smaller chunks under one new heading, and this will help you to simplify it. You're working on a project as part of a group. Work on the top layer together, agree that, and then divide into smaller groups to use your subject matter expertise to build the individual chunks. As you work down the umbrella, you will notice that the detail increases and the areas become more specific. This is a good indicator you're ready for SMART goals. You may also notice that the detail becomes more fluid as you get into the design of, say, your kitchen. You may change your mind about colours and materials, but none of that changes your overall goal of building your dream home. For more on goals, check out our YouTube channel. We have a dedicated playlist just for goals, and I'll put a link in the description below just for you. Now, of course, if you like the video, drop us a like. It really does help others to find our content. And feel free to share it. Who else works on complex projects or is struggling to get their head around their life goal? Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.